E pra finalizar, vai fazer a porra do gol contra a Argentina?
Vou.
Com tudo?
Com tudo.
Foda-se eles?
Foda-se eles.
É isso.
Brother, this is war. Yesterday, Rafinha on Romario TV said the following: "They are beaten on and off the field. And man, you must be really brave or crazy to say that before a game this big. But what differentiates the madman from the genius is the result. If Brazil wins, he will be a hero, remembering his former players, like Romario himself, who spoke a lot and did a lot on the field. However, if Brazil loses, it will become a joke. In short, for those who don't quite understand the scope of it all, I'll explain what happened. Yesterday, Rafinha moved behind the scenes of the classic between Brazil and Argentina by making a controversial statement during an interview with Romario TV. Asked by the former player and senator about the intensity of the confrontation, the number 11 of the Brazilian team promised beating. The expression he used was related to the fight against the Argentines, emphasizing the atmosphere of rivalry between the teams. The speech quickly had repercussions in the Argentine press, which interpreted the player's words as a provocation before the duel for the World Cup qualifiers. The main newspapers in the country, they did not let the statement go unnoticed. The Ole Diary, one of the most popular in Argentina, highlighted that the classic started even before the ball rolled, emphasizing Rafinha's promise. The Clarion, in turn, recalled the player's relationship with Argentina, mentioning his admiration for coach Marcelo Bielsa, who trained him at Leeds United. However, the newspaper pointed out that, in the face of a South American classic, this bond takes a backseat, classifying the statement as a strong threat. Already the Nation stated that the confrontation had already started on the microphones, reinforcing that Rafinha's speech raised the temperature before the game. Another interesting point, I was seeing how the Barcelona pages, or Messi's widows, whatever they prefer to call them, reacted to this. Rafinha is playing for his country. He is in one of the best phases of his life, if not the best, playing for Catalan club, and even so, several Barcelona fans were criticizing him because, in some way, this was, according to them, disrespectful to Messi. This is simply absurd. Guys don't get over it. I partially understand, but man, Messi isn't even going to play. Now for you to support Barcelona, you need to support Argentina? This is simply crazy. The rivalry between Brazil and Argentina is one of the most intense and emblematic in world football. More than a simple sporting dispute, the confrontation between the two teams carries a historical and cultural weight that spans generations. Since the first clashes at the beginning of the 20th century, the classic took on the shape of a war on the field, being marked by memorable matches, provocations, controversies, and moments of pure genius. Brazil and Argentina share a long history of disputes in different areas, and in football, it could not be different. The first confrontation between the teams took place in 1914, and over the years, the duel has become one of the most anticipated on the international calendar. The rivalry intensified in the 1940s and 1950s, when both countries began to consolidate themselves as football powers. Brazil won its first World Cup in 1958, with Pelé and Garrincha shining, while Argentina took until 1978 to lift its first cup, driven by the talent of Mario Kempes. These moments helped to consolidate the idea that each victory over the rival had a much greater meaning than just 3 points in a competition. Iconic and controversial moments. The classic has already provided unforgettable moments, from fierce duels to episodes of extreme tension. Some of the most notable include 1978 World Cup. Argentina was accused of manipulating the result against Peru to advance the final, which generated distrust and revolt in Brazil. 1982 World Cup. In one of the most iconic games in the history of the tournament, Brazil, with Zico, Socrates, and Falcao, faced Maradona's Argentina. The Brazilians won 3-1, but ended up eliminated in the next phase. 1990 World Cup. Maradona got revenge on Brazil by making a spectacular play that resulted in Canigia's goal, eliminating the Brazilian team in the round of 16. There are rumors that the Argentines had offered baptized water to the Brazilians to harm their performance. 2004 Copa America final. Brazil tied in the last minute with a goal from Adriano and won on penalties, generating frustration among the Argentines. 2021 Copa America final. Argentina won 1-0 with a goal from Di Maria, winning the title at Maracana, one of the most symbolic moments of the recent rivalry. Who doesn't remember the 2021 Copa America final, in which Argentina's players were taking turns fouling Neymar, who, by the way, played one of the best games of his career there, played practically alone. The baptized water controversy occurred in the round of 16 of the 1990 World Cup, in a clash between Brazil and Argentina at the Del Alpi Stadium in Turin, Italy. The game was marked not only by Argentina's 1-0 victory, with a goal from Caniggia after a brilliant play by Maradona, but also by a serious accusation coming from the Brazilian side. The suspicion that Argentina had offered contaminated liquid to Brazilian players, with the intention of harming them physically. Left-back Branco, a member of the Brazilian national team, stated years later that he received a bottle of water from a member of the Argentine Technical Committee that had been adulterated with some substance to make him drowsy and without energy during the match. According to Branco, he felt strongly unwell after drinking the drink, which affected his performance on the field. Other Brazilian players also reported feeling abnormally tired during the second half. For years, the episode remained a suspicion, but some statements reinforced the Brazilian version. Carlos Bilardo, Argentina's coach at the time, never directly confirmed it, but always treated the matter with irony, avoiding emphatically denying it. In some interviews, he laughed when asked about the story, which raised suspicions. Oscar Ruggieri, Argentine defender from that team, revealed in 2022 that the story was real and that Branco really took the baptized water. The revelation was seen as a confession that Argentina had used a dirty trick to win the match. Brazil left the 1990 World Cup feeling that it had been harmed, and this story became another chapter in the intense rivalry between the two countries. Branco continued with his career, and FIFA never officially investigated the case, and the Argentine victory remained valid. Even so, the baptized water became one of the most controversial stories of the World Cup, being remembered to this day as one of the most unusual episodes of the rivalry between Brazil and Argentina. Rafinha's statement about beating up Argentina is justified by the context of the greatest rivalry between teams. Brazil and Argentina have always provoked provocations before the classics, and this tension is part of the show. Furthermore, games against the Argentines tend to be physical, and the Brazilian team needs to enter with intensity to avoid being dominated. The tone of the interview with Romario was relaxed, and the speech had more of a motivational character than a real threat. At a time when the fans demand more determination from the team, Rafinha just expressed what many expect: a Brazil without fear of facing its biggest rival.